The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present NashCast.
What the is a NashCast?
NashCast, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Code Blue!
Mike Folta.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
NashCast begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Folta.
Feeling good, folks. Holy happy new year, my brother. 2026 is upon us. I'm still a little banged up, a little hungover, so I'm going to toss the glasses on. No, they didn't come with a fake nose, by the way. All right, this thing's real.
Oh,
real big, real big, buddy, real big. Happy New Year, buddy. You're in the Big Apple. Did you take a big bite the last couple of days or what?
It's almost February, Tyson. Like, shut the party down already. we were. How about this? We were on Long Island for New Year's, which is kind of like, all right, you're almost at Times Square, but you're still like an hour away. It's a little sleepy out there in Garden City, but. No, we avoided the madness. I didn't have to wear my Depends or anything like that at Times Square to see the ball drop. I was snug as a bug in my bed at midnight on New Year's, and yeah, since then we've moved from Long Island where Utah won 7-2. I mean, holy! Dylan Gunther gets his first NHL hat trick. We come over here and stay in Manhattan for a couple days. It looks like I'm recording from a sauna or something like that. This is just the hotel room here in Manhattan, but yeah, it's been fun to be in the big city for a few days. Caught a show. I know some of our broadcast crew was doing the comedy show circuit, things like that. So we're rolling right along here and ready for Utah to make their push to the playoffs.
Well, I gotta tell you, like the road, I was on the road for a long time. I know you're just getting rolling, spent some time in the American Hockey League, all the leagues, right? You got to pay your dues, but the only thing I shouldn't say the only thing. I miss a lot of it. I miss hanging out with the boys. I miss the dinners, but oh, do I miss the Big Apple. I miss New York City, buddy. Like I am just chomping at the bit. That hotel, I have a pretty good idea where you're staying. Nothing like it, right? And I know the Utah Mammoth, no one travels, no one has a better road life than that hockey club. I mean, Ryan Smith spares no expense for you guys on the road. But the Big Apple, oh my God, my cigar bar up in Carnegie Hall there, I absolutely love it. I saw Chopper, your director, he posted a video today of that runway, right? That you got to, because no one really understands. Yeah, the rink is actually on the second or third floor.
No,
right?
It's on like the fifth. It's on like the fifth floor. Yeah.
All right, I can't count that high, so that's why I screwed that up. But that walk, I got to tell you, I have taken that walk up that ramp as a player and especially as a broadcaster. So hungover, I can't even tell you. So I had a little PTSD when I saw that picture of the ramp getting up there. The legs are burning. You can't wait to get back to the hotel. The hotel you're in right there. Look, nice workbench it looks like there, buddy. But back into the wrapper, right? Get ready, sleep it off, and get ready for game time. But yeah.
Were you a show guy? Like when you would come to New York, would you go to shows and stuff, or was it all just dinners and buzzing around?
You know what? I went to a couple shows. Shane Doan actually took every one of us 1 year to the Lion King, believe it or not. So we saw that. That was pretty badass. I have to admit, I expected something totally different. So when you go into something with very low expectations, it blew the absolute socks off me. Then I took my daughter there. All my kids at 17, I take them on a trip, right? And my daughter wanted to go to New York City, so we did the 9/11 tour, which if you haven't done it, everyone out there, you got to do it. Do the VIP tour, buck up. It is the most insane experience that you'll ever have. I mean, out of body experience. I felt like I was anyway, it was definitely worth it. Then we went to a show. I can't remember. We went to like The Waitress or something, or I don't know what it was. It was good. It was really good. There's not a bad show, right? I mean, comedy. I love it all. I love comedy. I love the shows, the singing, and just people, how talented people are out in this world, right? So,
yeah, it was. I went to a show the other night. It was a blast. I loved going to the theater. Actually, it's just not something I do a ton of, but it's funny because you go to a big event and like we're used to going to hockey games where everybody's drinking beers, you're in jeans and a jersey. But at these shows on Broadway, it's a very different clientele at these productions. They're works of art, right? And it's amazing, but it is like it shocked me for a second. I'm like, oh, I kind of had the feeling like I was going to a sporting event, but I'm looking around and
you saw Matt McConnell in his spandex, eh? Matt McConnell's wearing his tight spandex. He thought he was dancing up on stage. My God. Oh, help us.
It's been great to be here in the city, but boy, it'll be great to get back to Utah here shortly as well. Here in New York, we were watching the World Juniors tournament, Tyson, and we can't let this thing go too much longer before I get an explanation from your country as to what in the world is going on with this World Juniors group. It's a few years in a row now where they've left some meat on the bone, getting bounced by the Czechs the other night. And is this crisis mode north of the border?
No. Like, first of all, I will say this. What medal are you guys playing for again tomorrow? Or is it today? What medal are you guys playing for? I can't recall. Yeah, Team USA has definitely had the upper hand the last few years, but it's World Junior, right? I mean, it's I don't know. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's the future of our game. It's, the future up and coming stars, but there's just so much growth that happens from, 17 to 21, the NHL, and then folds again, the Olympics. That's what it's all about. So if you want to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. I don't know. What's going on? Is it 45 years now? Is it 46? I can't recall, but my God.
Hey, just wait for the movie, because the movie's going to be incredible when we do win it.
Oh my goodness!
Last time we got gold, it was a Disney blockbuster. But we had the Olympic rosters announced for Team USA, Team Canada while we were on break. Oh, I'm getting a hold on. This will be good. This is I think housekeeping right here. Oh no, I was hoping they would just come in. Oh, we got to keep that in. If they come in, we're keeping it in too. I'll get whoever the person is on the show.
The doorbell. I love it.
Yeah. But
I thought you were having a guest. I thought you were having a visitor, Foltz. Huh?
Well, yeah, I think it was housekeeping. But maybe it's just McConnell messing with me. But okay, let's get back to business. So the Olympic rosters for the U.S. and Canada announced right around New Year's. Tyson, were there any surprises, guys left on or left off, or guys that did make it that surprised you?
No, not at all. I guess the big one for me would be Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett, he won the Conn Smythe last year. So instrumental with the Florida Panthers and what they're doing there. The team that they have, the back-to-back cups. Sam Bennett is a huge part of it. He didn't have a great start to the year, so I was a little bit concerned. Because I think it matters, right? I think you have to play your way on to a team, right? And Sam didn't have it at the start of the year. He's got it singing now more than ever. Scored a huge goal last night too, by the way. So I think he's a little pissed off, as he should, because he was so good in the Four Nations. So that was a head scratcher for me. I thought they could have went another direction with that pick. But I will say probably part of the reason that he didn't make it was because of Big Tom Wilson, right? He's been the biggest addition in my mind. I'm not sure you can have, maybe two of those guys is maybe what they're thinking, along with Marchand and, they have a lot of grit, right, on that team. So maybe they just wanted some more skill. It is still about making the best team, right? Not just all the best players. I think that matters as well. So that was the only big one for me.
No Connor Bedard. That wasn't too surprising.
No.
I don't think there was some noise about him earlier, but had some injuries, didn't make the team. Matthew Schaefer, the New York Islanders, didn't make it either. But what do you think about needing guys who have experience, Tyson, in these types of best on best games? Because we've shown it. I mean, it's been shown from teams of different countries over time. Everybody wants to bring experienced guys to these tournaments. And even if a young guy is having a great year with a bunch of points, that isn't necessarily enough to get them on these national teams.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the history of Team Canada, I think they've always kind of done that. And they've always kind of brought young guys along, right? We had Scott Niedermayer on the show a few weeks ago. He talked about he was a little longer in the tooth. I think he was 38 in, 2010 when Canada won again. And Duncan Keith was a young guy, right, on that team along with Seabrook. So I think you have to, worry about the future and bringing guys along to get that experience, because you only get experience with getting experience, right? So, again, I cannot wait.
Utah's Clayton Keller as well, named to Team USA. Tyson, you've been around Clayton longer than I have, and he downplayed it last year, his disappointment of not making the Four Nations team, but that had to have been really disappointing for him after what was a career year for him last season. And how cool is it for you to see him get this appointment?
Yeah, amazing, right? First of all, I played a lot of hockey of my career in St. Louis. That's where Clayton Keller is from. Everything that happened with his father on Thanksgiving, passing away, so sad, and that's got to just be such a great feeling for Clayton, knowing that his dad would have been so proud, and he'll be looking down upon him when he's in that tournament and doing what he does, and furthermore, he deserved it. I mean, you look at when you lose. And USA lost in the Four Nations, you have to make changes, right? And Clayton Keller, you can't argue with it. This guy is a talented player. And I think the biggest decision-making factor was the chemistry that he has with some of those guys, right? I mean, he spends his summers playing with Matthews, and his whole childhood, he played with the Kachucks, so that matters. Chemistry matters, especially in a tournament like that, right? So he's gonna be a real nice addition to Team USA, and I can't wait to see him, because regular season is one thing, but getting to the playoffs and getting to the Olympics or the Four Nations, that is a whole other animal. And I haven't seen Clayton Keller. I've been watching this kid since he was 18 years old, right? Coming in the National Hockey League. His first ever game was in St. Louis. I interviewed him before the game. It was a spectacle. It was special. And now I cannot wait to see what Keller, because he's ready to do. And I know he downplayed not making that team last year, but you know him, I know him. He was pissed, right? And as he should be. Yeah. That's the competitive juices that you need to play in the National Hockey League. So I can't wait.
And just look at the numbers too. If you go back to last year, we were talking about this on the radio side, but last year, before the Four Nations team got announced, he was on a 72-point pace. After it was announced that he didn't make the team, he was playing on a 100-point pace. Wow. So, statistically, he was much better in the back half of the year, immediately after he found out, and had a couple big games against the Minnesota Wild, of course, where the GM
suck on that, Billy G.
Exactly. He was also the GM of Team USA. So exciting for Clayton. How much, Tyson, do you think the World Championships over the summer had to do with that? Because you saw Clayton Keller and Tage Thompson win the gold medal for Team USA. That's not exactly best on best, because so many players are still in the playoffs, but you are representing your country on an international stage. And does that play any factor for you, or is it all NHL action that has to dictate whether you make the team?
That's actually a great question. And you know me, I run hot a little bit, Fultz, but I find that, first of all, the world, it's an honor to play for your country, to put on that jersey no matter what, stage you're on, right? But let's be honest. The best players in our game aren't there. They're just not, right? They're playing in the playoffs because they're the best, right? And they're winning Stanley Cups. They're not playing the World Championships. I was invited, I believe, a long time ago, but I was hurt. I remember Jamal Mayers playing in the World Championships back when St. Louis got knocked out of the playoffs, right? So those are all like, fourth line grinders and, they get an opportunity and what an honor to play for your country. But it's not the best. But they won and they did it and they brought home gold and he had a really good tournament and Billy Guerin was watching and Tage Thompson, 2 great additions. I mean, I couldn't believe more than anything Tage Thompson didn't make it to the Four Nations. So nice addition. Again, I can't wait. I'm so jacked up. And more importantly, folks, like look at where this Utah Mammoth team, and we talk about this all the time, right? We talk about just hanging around the fight. And they have had ups and they have had downs. What a start to the season they've had. And then, you're like, they're throwing this all away. They've lost 9 of 11. They can't win a game to save their lives. Well, they're still in the fight. 2 more points and they're back in the playoff picture. So if you can just hang around until middle of March, April, and then you just put that pedal to the floor, right? And that's what this team has to do. It's what they didn't do last year. It's not what they did the year before, right? That is when they fell apart, when they really needed to push. And that's when they're going to need guys like Nick Schmaltz, Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther to really rise, right? And because that's when it matters the most. So I can't wait to see what this team's all about. And they're right in the fight right now.
Yeah, right in the mix, and it feels like a lot of teams are right in the mix. Really, both sides of the divide in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference this year. A lot more teams in that wild card picture than there were at this time last year. So it's you look at the standings one day, and it'll be a total flip of what you see the next day. But Tyson, anything else you want to get to here before we get to our great guest, newly minted Hall of Famer, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, and a Norris Trophy winner as well in Duncan Keith?
There is one more thing, Fultz, and that is the World Junior. We touched on it. We grazed over it. But are you kidding me? How good is TJ Ginla going to be? I mean, I was blown away, absolutely blown away at how talented this guy is, how he scores goals, how the puck just follows him around, how he finishes plays off, how good he is in his own zone as well, right? So these are all just big stepping stones for Tej and in his growth, getting to the National Hockey League. He will be with the Utah Mammoth next year, 1,000% on the roster and contributing. So this is another massive piece to the puzzle that Utah is trying to put together, right? And it is so fun to watch when you see the talent on that stage, along with a number of other guys that they drafted.
Yeah, he's a pure goal scorer. He had 4 goals in 6 games for Team Canada during their World Juniors run. We also had Cole Baudouin and Caleb Denoye, a couple of other first-round draft picks that were playing for Team Canada as well. Baudouin had 7 points in 6 games, 3 goals in 6 games for Cole. And then Caleb Denoye playing as just a youngster, 18 years old, I still believe, 6 assists in 6 games. So some good things for the Mammoth prospects playing with Team Canada. Utah and Nashville tied for the most prospects playing at the World Junior Championships this year. Each of those teams, Utah and Nashville, both had 7. You have a couple guys for Utah playing with Team Czechia who will be competing for gold. I never know how to say this guy's last name. He was a second-round pick. Max, it's a P and then an S. Piznica, something like that. He's a big defenseman, played in the WHL. And then I believe it's Stefan Hoek had 1 goal in 6 games as well for Team Czechia as of our last update. So there was Speaking Czech with the NashCast crew.
Love it, buddy. Love it, buddy. And yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. It kind of is a seamless transition, right? We're talking about the Olympics, Duncan Keith, what he did for Team Canada in his day, Stanley Cups, 3 cups in 6 years, Hall of Famer, top 100 to ever play and lace the skates up in the National Hockey League. I think the guy could still play today if he wanted to. Early retirement, there was no question he had some juice left in the tank. And what a guy. The stories were flying. I know you guys are going to love it. He is just your typical hockey player, right? He looks like a hockey player. He's got the hockey hair. He's got the teeth. I mean, he lost, 7 or 8 teeth one game. I think he spent like the next 15 hours in the dental chair. So everyone thinks it's all about the glory, but the behind the scenes, and he talked all about it. So I really hope you guys enjoy it because he was one of our biggest guests today.
All right, let's go. We have the man we've all been waiting for, Duncan Keith, born in Winnipeg, Manitoba. How about 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years? How about 2 gold medals? How about 2 Norris trophies? 17 years in the National Hockey League, 16 in the Windy City. Named to the top 100 of all time to ever lace them up. Duncan Keith, 1,256 games, second round draft choice, 54th overall. That's hard to believe, but welcome. Let's welcome him to the show. What's going on?
Thanks for having me, guys. Good to see you, Nasher. How you been?
Oh, buddy. Hey, like I said in the text message, I got PTSD. 1 year I played against you, thank God, otherwise it'd be a lot grayer and a lot more wrinkles, but I was chasing your ass around all over the ice. I could never catch you. Yeah. Everyone was telling me, hit the guy, hit Duncan Keith. I'm like, you don't think I'm trying? But welcome, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. I think I decided I needed to work on my quickness when I saw you cruising around back in the day in Kelowna in your Ford Bronco with the tarp off, and I figured I gotta get to the NHL and get quicker and be like that guy. So
that's right. You saw that.
You were the inspiration.
That green beast. I didn't know you saw that. Oh, not a big deal, eh? I should have scored way more goals. I could afford to freaking keep that thing, but hey, we got my good buddy Mike Johnson here. He's a good friend of mine, huge fan of yourself.
Hey, Duncan, how you doing, bud?
Welcome, buddy.
Good.
Unlike Tyson, I respect the D. So, you know.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, he was a handful out there, but it's great to be here. Great to meet you, Mike.
Hey, Dunk, I gotta ask you. So we're playing the Mammoth is playing the Winnipeg Jets here tonight. It is so weird, man, seeing Jonathan Toews out there, an old teammate, your captain, who you won 3 cups in 6 years with. I mean, he's still chugging along out there. How weird is that, first of all? And is there any hope of you coming back? But if anyone can do it, it's you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? It's been fun to watch Johnny come back and make his comeback. I didn't get the chance to play with him my last year in Chicago, so I was kind of disappointed with that and sad about that. But then he came back and I was playing against him in my year in Edmonton, and he came back for a couple of years and then missed another 2. So he's only played 2 out of the last 5 years. So it's good to see him back, playing, still being hard in face-offs, and he's good positionally and defensively. So, I'm just happy for him to be able to make a comeback and get back doing what he loves to do. And it's been a pleasure being able to watch him now.
Were you surprised when he came back?
I was a little bit, to be honest with you, but then the more I kind of thought about it, I recognized, what he was saying, just how he, didn't finish the way he wanted to finish and go out, which I guess, I don't know how often really happens in the game where guys get to go out the way they want to go out, but, I understood his position and how he felt, and then for him the opportunity to play another year in his hometown is obviously special for him with a good team. And, I think they look like they're kind of having a harder time tonight anyways and recently. But, it's just nice to be able to watch him. And, I always appreciate watching the guys now that I played with and had a chance to play with and be friends with. So cheering for him tonight. And I like watching Schmaltzy too off of the Mammoth there. So he's having a great year.
Yeah, I love it. Obviously, Kaner still playing with Detroit. But what kind of leader was Toews? Like, obviously, there had to have been moments when he kind of pulled you guys aside. I mean, you both were. The leadership you guys had in Chicago was second to none. 3 cups in 6 years. But what kind of leader was Toews?
I think the biggest thing with Taser was just how his approach to the game and just, his professionalism and just how much he cared, to wanting to be the best he could. You hear stories about it with guys like Crosby and their work ethic and just how driven he was, and how Taze is the same way, with his craft, never satisfied of on what he's done and accomplished, and just always trying to get better. And I think that mentality rubs off on other players, especially at that point in time where, if you remember, there was a point in time in his career where they were talking about him being better than Crosby. And some of us kind of gave Taser the gears about that, and Taser would be the first
like
first
we
guy
love
to admit
do.
that. Yeah, I mean, but Taser would have been the first guy to admit that, Crosby's in a league of his own. But, just his competitiveness and his drive to get better, that rubs off on players, and it certainly rubbed off on our group and made us a better team. And the way he led by, his determination and, never being out of a game until the final second ticks off the clock. So, yeah, it was an honor to go to battle with him and play alongside him for all those years. And yeah, definitely looking back, proud to say that I was, played alongside Taser and be good friends with him to this day.
Well, I'm sure he's saying the same thing, how it was to play alongside you, because you were one of the best players to ever do it on the back end. How did you lead, Duncan?
I think, to be honest with you, it was a lot of the same way. I think just being competitive and practicing from day to day, trying to get better and being a part of that group that pushed one another. I think as I got a bit older, being more comfortable and understanding the importance of, communicating and just being there for teammates and younger players. And, I enjoyed that role later on in my career, kind of mentoring and just trying to make the young guys feel at ease. And, most importantly, try to be at my best to make their game easier, especially if I was paired up with a younger defense partner, like a guy like Adam Boquist or Ian Mitchell, and make it easier on them. And, I think that my game kind of evolved, and I think that's kind of normal as you get older in your role as the way you lead.
You have a great career, and then you make the Olympic team in 2010, and you're talking about all these leaders and what you learned. Where do you think from that moment on, when, obviously winning is amazing, but when you left that tournament, what happened then? Like, you're sitting in the room, like you're just talking about all these winners and how everybody conducts themselves and being a pro. What was that like the next 5 years after that?
Yeah, that's a good question. It was, that time in my life, I hadn't really won a championship up until that point, a major championship like an Olympics or World Championships or Stanley Cup. We had won in Kelowna with the Rockets in the WHL. We won a Western Hockey League championship and then lost at the Memorial Cup. So for me, there was a little bit of relief in winning with that first Olympics being in Vancouver on our home soil. But I certainly remember the players that I played with there, and guys like Scott Niedermayer, Chris Pronger, and Dan Boyle, defense leaders on the back end for us, who just made us younger guys feel comfortable. A guy like Joe Thornton, it can be a real small thing at that time where, just having a conversation with you, even, to make you feel comfortable around all those superstars, because that was really the first time that I'd been a part of something like that. So I remember those moments and the effect it had on me. And of course, a guy like Scott Niedermayer, just how poised he was in those big situations where the pressure of competing and playing for Team Canada on home soil in the biggest, spectacle where the world can see at the Olympics, it just seemed like it was, he'd done it before and there was no panic, especially going into that overtime against the Americans. So things like that where, it's kind of like it's the ups and downs and just being that even keel, kind of knowing that, hey, that maybe the other team scores late in the game, just let it go and move on and, worry about the next shift. And I think that's what I took from a guy like Scott, especially.
Dunk, we had Scott Niedermayer on the show 2 nights ago, and he talked so highly, obviously, of you as being a young player. But when you look at guys like Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey and yourself and Scott Niedermayer and, you know, guys that could skate, I mean, now Makar and Quinn Hughes, I mean, you guys have literally changed the game, it feels like, overnight, and how you defend because you skate so well. You don't play defense like most defensemen, but is that something that maybe you learned from a guy like Scott Niedermayer?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously, growing up, the importance of being a good skater, I think had a big effect on me. And I knew that, you know, I wasn't the biggest guy on the ice. So for me, it was working on my quickness, working on my edges, and being a good skater so that I could, you know, find a way to be a really effective player, and using my skating to defend, to take time and space away. And then good offense kind of comes from playing good defense and being able to anticipate with your skating. And, you know, I think that I tried to learn from guys like, even watching old tapes of Bobby Orr and Scott Niedermayer, how really good defensemen are, you know, have to be able to defend, but they also have to be able to create offense. And so you look at a guy like Paul Coffey and how much offense he created. So taking things from those guys and then just trying to be like them. And now, you know, you look at the next generation of guys, like you said, Quinn Hughes and Makar, it's almost like they've kind of taken it to a whole nother level as well with their creativity and their ability to create offense from the offensive blue line, just through their skating and edge work and puck handling. So it's fun to watch, and it's neat to see how new generations come up, and new generations of defensemen especially are coming up, and just what they do to create offense and how they defend using their skating.
Tyson and I were talking earlier about your Hall of Fame speech and obviously your career, but for me, how you talk about, you know, I'm too, you know, I was told I'm too small to play in the NHL as a defenseman, and you go to college, and then you go back to junior, and then you had to go to the AHL for 2 years, and no one really understands how hard that is too. And in your speech, you mentioned Trent Yawney and what that did for you, the confidence to be down there to get to the NHL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think I always had that inner belief in my game, and so, you know, hearing the negativity, or maybe the talk that I was too small, I guess only kind of fueled the fire a little bit more, knowing that, you know, I wanted to prove people wrong. And I certainly when I look at my career, I think about how, you know, lucky I was to have good coaches. Like I had mentioned Trent in my speech there, learning how, you know, to have a good stick and those type of things. I didn't learn that until I was 20 years old, and how important, you know, just being a good stick on puck and taking time and space away. So I was fortunate to have those great coaches at certain moments in time that kind of helped, you know, help me moving forward.
I got to ask you, that Hall of Fame speech, I'll tell you what, I had the goosebumps, the tears were rolling, but let's be honest, how nervous were you? Like, I can't even imagine. I get ready for these stupid NashCast shows that we're doing, and I get nervous. I need a new pair of underwear. How nervous were you for that freaking speech, man?
And your son's sitting right there.
Oh,
like,
you got the best of the best around you, and you're talking right to them. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was. It was like the Olympics walking to the bus there, and I remember feeling pretty nervous before that game, and then obviously, you know, knowing that you're going to be speaking to everybody that you grew up idolizing, and they're all in the room, and you know, it was pretty surreal weekend and pretty surreal moment, especially for myself and my son and our entire family to be there. But yeah, once I sat back down after my speech, it was like a weight had kind of lifted off my shoulders, just that knowing that the speech was done, and I can finally relax and feel like I could enjoy myself there. But yeah, it was definitely nerve-wracking, and you know, a great experience, and obviously a huge honor and privilege.
So you literally just got off the ice a few minutes ago. You were scheduled to come on in the second period. You're a little late. You're coaching your son. What kind of coach is Duncan Keith? Because I know when I coached, I was like Daryl Sutter, Mike Keenan, Ken Hitchcock. I was an absolute tool.
Well, I don't know. I guess you take things from every coach, but you know they're 12 years old, so it's a different stage in their careers. They're not pros yet anyway, but it's been a lot of fun just being around my son and getting to be a part of his hockey career and help coaches him and his buddies. And I always look at things that Joel Quenneville did with us in Chicago and try to take a lot of that same approach that he had. And we've got a talented group. I know they're only 12. It's a U13 team, but it's kind of like a good coach can just kind of stay out of the way sometimes. No one to stay out of the way a little bit, but I mean, give them a little bit of structure and let them play and be creative.
Did you ever think you'd have that much fun? I know, like, for us, we always talk about, even now, our sons are 22 and they're out of the bar the other night, you know, and they've been playing against each other. They're 6 years old. And you see their smiles when one of the kids actually get it. And they're like, hey, coach. And you're like, yeah, I kind of played, you know, Hall of Fame. You might want to listen to me a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's, when I first retired, I could, they were U11, so they were a little bit younger, and there was times where I was kind of going from being, you know, at the most competitive level playing, and then you see mistake, but you know, it's a game of mistakes, right. And I think that as time's gone along the last 3 years, you become a little more patient and. But, you know, it's been fun just, you know, like I said, being a part of my son's development, but not just his, but all of his buddies too. And it's been fun coaching them now for the last 3 years. And feel like we've got a pretty good thing going right now. And just like I said, try not to screw it up for them here.
I got to ask you, so you look at the team that you played on in Chicago, and literally you guys came in and you brought that team from the ashes. I mean, this is a team that, I mean, you could shoot a cannon in Chicago in that stadium and not hit anybody because it was empty. And all of a sudden you guys start rolling the draft picks, you're building just superstar after superstar, and now you start to win. I mean, how good did that feel to know what you created, literally created a dynasty in Chicago, and you were a huge part of it.
Yeah, thanks. It was neat. I mean, looking back, I think when we first started, me and Siebes, it was like we were just, you know, proud and happy to be in the NHL. I do remember being, you know, scratched for an exhibition game, and we just sat right in the stands, and I thought it was normal. You know, you sit right in the stands, nobody recognized you. I thought that was a little bit weird. I'm like,
can't do that now.
Yeah. But, you know, as it was just kind of a snowball effect, it seemed. And as we had a bunch of young players that were in the minors together and then made it to the NHL, and then we continued to add younger players. And, you know, that was, you know, some of the best times of our lives there, looking back, just being all young team in Chicago. What a great city with a great fan base. And then to kind of just continue to add players, and Kane and Taves, and then Marian Hossa. It was just, you know, the perfect storm. And it was nice to be a part of it from the very beginning. And that's certainly something that I know that myself and guys like Seabrook and Sharp are super proud of.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see that when you look at that group, you know, Bufflin and Boylan and, you know, unsung heroes and guys that, you know, didn't maybe get the accolades, but were unbelievable glue guys on that team. How rounded you guys were as well. Yeah, it's great. You have, you know, Keith and Seabrook, and you have Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves, but talk about what those third and fourth liner guys did for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at that team in 2010 that we had, and it's like almost we lost half the players from that original team, and everybody that went to another team, it was like Andrew Ladd was a third line guy on our team, and he ends up going on to become he's the original captain of the Winnipeg Jets, and Dustin Byfuglien. Look at the just like you mentioned, the things that he was able to do. He became a star in the league. He was a star then, but we lost so many great players that were. It's just like you win a championship. It's not about one or two guys or five or six guys. It's everybody, and I remember. The impact that a guy like Adam Burish and Colin Fraser had on our team, the fourth line guys that, maybe didn't play as much, but they play, important minutes when they're out there, and the camaraderie that they provided for everybody during a long hockey season, to bring everybody together and let loose and have a good time was all part of it, and what made our group special.
Well, speaking of letting loose, we just had Trevor Lewis on before you. He won 2 cups in LA. I can't even imagine 3 cups in 6 years in Chicago. Viagra Triangle, where are we bringing the cup? I mean, how good were those parties and celebrations that you guys had?
Yeah, I mean, when we think back to it, some of it, it was just surreal. I mean, just out of a movie, some of the things that were happening. I remember we took it on a party bus, and we were all on the party bus and bringing it just to different restaurants and bars around the city, just celebrating with the people of Chicago, and we would just stop in random places and. We'd stop in, bring it in, and just like screams would erupt, and then by the time we would
that's a rock star right there, by the way. Yeah. Look at that beard, dude. That is a humidity trail.
Get on the Harley and go to Stanley's on Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, we would bring the cup out of the buildings or the restaurants or places that we were at, and literally the street would have been was shut down because there was thousands of fans outside, and so the cops had to quarantine or close off the street just to get us out of there and haul the cup onto the bus and get it back on the bus and go to another restaurant. So it was amazing time and amazing memories for sure.
We got to ask you about Brent Seabrook. I mean, just an incredible partnership that you guys had. I mean, it was second to none. You think of Scott Niedermayer and Scott Stevens, and then really you think of you two and what you guys were able to do, shutdown pair, how well you worked together. I mean, just talk about your relationship and stallmates, not only at home, but also on the road. It was like it was a thing for you guys.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, the stallmates, I think that was Siebes' superstition. He needed to sit by me. But, I don't know if it was that or what, but I'm pretty sure he had asked that for, I don't know. But it was for 15, 16 years playing with Siebes and getting the opportunity to saddle up alongside him and, be deep partners, but just more than anything, teammates. And, I couldn't have asked for, it was like a dream, to be able to play with a guy like that who's just such a good teammate and good guy and a good friend that, made me a better player and a better person off the ice. So, helped me get to the games on time and practices too.
Yeah, you
so
said
it was,
that.
He drove you too?
Like that. Yeah. What's that?
He drove you too?
He would come and swing by and pick me up. Not every single time, but it was mostly to get to the the plane or after the odd road trip, and we'd always drive back. I think we just enjoyed one another's company and like just good friends that like being around one another. So it was I think that's part of why we had success, because we were so close like that.
Winning teams, that's what they do, right? The bond, right? He took you to the dentist chair, I'm sure, a couple thousand times as well with those chompers you had. Holy jeez. How's the body? How are you feeling? I mean, you didn't fight a ton, but you were so sneaky dirty. I mean, you had to have taken a lot of licks back in your day. How's the body? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You know, I feel like everything's fine. I had a shoulder surgery when I was 22, and that's been holding up good. Some of the separated shoulders, my joints feel a little creaky sometimes in that one shoulder, but other than that, I feel healthy and I feel good. So I think, you know, part of what I'm most proud about actually is throughout my career is the effort and intention that I had in my training, and I think that went a long way in being able to bounce back from certain injuries and you know, I guess keeping the league and as a smaller guy and not get killed out there.
I gotta ask you about. I was out for a Christmas party with Chuck Kobasu, and
Oh yeah.
I know you guys go way back. You guys went to high school, I think, together back in the day. And he was like, this guy
Yeah.
trained like an absolute animal. He told me to ask you about a guy, Rob McLaughlin. This guy,
Oh yeah.
like, was an absolute savage in your day, and certainly had a big impact.
Yeah, I played with Chuck in Junior A in Penticton here, and I had a couple of good summers of training with Chuck. But yeah, definitely when our family moved to Penticton when I was 14, my bantam coach was Rob McLaughlin, so I had him from 14 to 15, and I was kind of. You know, I grew up on the outdoor rinks in Ontario, in northwestern Ontario, and then when we moved to British Columbia, there was no outdoor rinks. So when I was 14, I was kind of worried that my buddies back home would be getting better and being on the rinks, and I was, you know, so I became obsessed with plyometrics when Rob McLaughlin introduced us to those. So you know, I'd come back from school and be doing jump squats and shooting pucks until it was time to go to bed, it seemed. So just thinking that I got to make up for not being able to be on the outdoor ice. So I think it was just, you know, and I felt I wouldn't have probably done it had I not seen the immediate benefits of doing all those jumping and you know, quickness drills. You could, I felt like we'd do it on a Tuesday, and then all of a sudden my legs would be kind of sore, and by Thursday I would feel quicker. So it became an obsession almost, and definitely thankful for Rob's guidance in those early years.
You grew up in the era back in Ontario where you left after supper and you didn't come home until your parents or someone went and found you because you're on the outdoor rink all night, or if not, you were playing ball hockey probably all night on the pavement with your buddies, and that's all you did.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I remember in the summer times, my parents would wake up in the morning, and my parents would be gone at work, and you know, it was just kind of figure out a way to get yourself some breakfast, and then what am I going to do today? So I'd get on my bike and bike around the neighborhood, or get on the rollerblades and play roller hockey all day, and then figure something out for lunch, whether it was make a sandwich or not even eat, but just, you know, eat at your friend's house, or, you know, and then there was no real, there was no curfew either, where you just kind of go, oh, I'm going to come back, and, you know, I get back, have dinner, and then just go back out and play, and then it's dark, and it's getting pretty late, so you kind of recognize that it's like past, you know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, probably time to come in. So I think that's, you know, part of, I wonder sometimes too about, you know, they talk about developing instincts and out on the ice, and I wonder sometimes if some of that can just be related to off ice, not being told what to do all the time, and you just have to figure things out on your own. I don't know.
It's funny how many guys say that.
Yeah, that's true. I got a great story. My son Ty has not one autograph of anyone, not me, not anyone, but he's got one of you. And I thought it was the coolest thing.
Really?
He was with the Edmonton Oilers in training camp, and they were out in Penticton. You had the whole squad, dude, out to your house. They're on your Sea-Doos. You were cooking steaks for everybody, and you had an autograph. And it was super cool because it was something about a wolf that you always said. And my son had a wolf tattoo on his forearm, and he's like, "This was the coolest thing ever, Dad." And I found out I was doing the interview the other day, and I happened to walk into his room, and he's playing at ASU right now, so he's not even living at home. But I found this picture, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. And I know my son feels that, and just, I mean, obviously it was huge for him at your house, the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's yeah, you know what, those little like sayings and stuff, it's always fun. I think, you know, the same thing. It's like you can sign your name or you know, say best wishes or best of luck. But one guy that I
used to say breast wishes.
Breast wishes, yeah. One guy that I learned from about writing things to people on those autographs was Bobby Hull. He always had something, and you know, figure why not say something unique or something fun for whoever you're signing for. But you know, I do remember that. That's funny. It's good. He's at ASU now.
He's at ASU. Yeah. What do you think about that whole thing? I mean, we all at 13 or 14 years old, we had to make decisions, right? It was either going to major, junior, or you were going to college. And now that is all gone. The rule is broken. What do you think about that? I know you had a situation back at Sparty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess by all accounts, I guess it's good. I don't know. I mean, I think it probably provides a little more chaos now too, if guys are moving from one place to the next. But I know I have a close buddy of mine that, you know, was a really good player, and I went to Michigan State with him, and it was kind of like he got buried at Michigan State. And you know, I think it's good for players to be able to make that decision for themselves if they feel that it's best for them to move to a different school or join a school leaving the WHL. And it's definitely interesting times that way. And I'm not really sure how it'll all unfold, but so far it you know, seems to be okay. And I'm not really sure exactly, but it's probably a good thing.
Dunk, I got to ask you, we got a guy who talked a lot about you over your career, Eddie-O. Best part of the NashCast is the Nash Crasher, and he sent the video in knowing we were interviewing you today. I don't know if we can get to that right now or not, but obviously thinks the world of you, and he talked a lot about your goals. 3 cups in 6 years. He was a part of them all.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie, like I mentioned him in my speech for a reason there, just because, you know, I've been really close with Eddie over the years and always have, you know, time for the players that came before me, especially a guy like Eddie. And, you know, he's kind of that epitome of what it means to be a Blackhawk, and, you know, makes you feel like it's a family. He's from Chicago. He's like Chris Chelios, you know, they're from Chicago through and through, and you know they live and breathe with the Blackhawk colors and emblems. So I remember him always making me feel comfortable as a younger guy, and you know, been one of the best, one of the best players to ever come out of Chicago. So. You know, just a great person and great family, and he's been super supportive of myself and Siebes, and you know, part of what makes playing for the Blackhawks and being a Blackhawk so special is having guys like that came before you. That you know, it's not just about yourself; it's about, you know, all those guys that the great players that came before you, and just, you know, being a part of that family.
Well, this is what Eddie-O had to say. He sent a video in today for you.
Hey, Dunk. How you doing, pal? First off, I hope you and Colton have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. I hope the hockey season's going well, and I wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations again on a no-brainer, first ballot Hall of Famer. Proud to have been on a selection committee and see you go in and unitedly go down as one of the greatest defensemen ever to play in a National Hockey League. And I've been around a long time, as you know, because I am an old guy now. But there is no doubt in my mind that you are the greatest defenseman ever to play for the Chicago Blackhawks. The way you carry yourself on the ice, the plays that you shut down between the far blue line and the red line. Never seen somebody shut down more plays and prevent more offensive looks for the opponent than yourself. And not only to your great athleticism, but your unbelievable hockey IQ. And always enjoy our conversations at the rink, away from the rink. And it's been an honor and a privilege to know you not only as a player and a former Blackhawk and alumni now like me, but also as a person. So all the accolades continue to come your way, and enjoy them because you certainly deserve them. And you were part of an incredible run here, the greatest in the franchise of the Chicago Blackhawks. And I'm proud to say, and I don't know if this is official or not, I'm sure the NashCast stats team could get on this, but I don't think there's anybody out there that's ever called more games, more of your games than yours truly. So certainly proud of that, and look forward to seeing you in January. The Blackhawks celebrating their 100th year anniversary, and they're going to bring your Cup teams back in January, and looking forward to seeing you and seeing a lot of the guys and having a few laughs and telling a few stories. So look forward to giving you a hug and reminiscing, and it's always great to catch up. So I got to say, Dunk, I'll speak as the older guy here in the room here. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, the budget of the NashCast is through the roof from what I understand. My sources tell me that they got a lot of cake there, and would have been nice if we could all have done this together live somewhere, you know, like could have brought you into Salt Lake City, put you in a beautiful studio, and then I could have came walking in and crashed the NashCast and just walk right into the set, and you know, that would have got a lot of clicks everywhere, because that seems to be what everybody's worried about in the world today. But this is the best we could do. I'm sitting in my basement. You can see the nice old portrait, at least it's in color anyways, me right there, and then over my right shoulder, back in the peg, playing for the Jets. So we got a little tie there, Dunk, as well, with your time in Winnipeg, and also obviously your great time here in Chicago. So thanks to the NashCast for letting me crash your party here tonight. Thanks for doing this, by the way. And Dunk, again, congratulations. Give Colton a hug for me. Have a great holiday, and look forward to seeing you really soon. See you, pal.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, hearing that from Eddie. That's awesome. Yeah, just yeah. No, I don't even know what to say. I mean, he's such a special guy and good human, and means a lot hearing those things from Eddie all the time. And he's been, like I said, just super supportive of my career, and you know, I feel grateful to have people like him that have had my back for basically my whole career. So, and more than anything, happy to call him a good friend.
Well, that's well deserved, Dunk. That stuff is earned, right? And the alumni is so important. I didn't play a long time like you did in the National Hockey League, but I was a part of the St. Louis Blues, and I feel a lot the same. And it's important, right, to have people in your corner. Your retirement, we've been hockey players our entire lives, right? And it's not easy to retire and hang them up, because all we've known is hockey. And obviously you want to get back to your family because you miss so much being a hockey player. But how has retirement, has it been hard on you, or has it been enjoyable to be a part of your son's life and his journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been rewarding just being able to spend way more time with him, and not have to go on a road trip and leave, or, you know, be in a different city. So that has been the number one thing, and the best part about being retired is spending time with my son Colton. And but to say that, it's still, like you said, it's difficult not doing something that you love to do, and playing hockey, that you've done something like that and played my whole life, right? And so now we're not playing. So it's an adjustment in that regard on, you know, finding routines and keeping busy, and thinking about your future of what's next. But so far it's just been great to spend more quality time with him, and it's been a lot of fun coaching his team.
Johnny, you got anything else for the Hall of Famer? Top 100 of all time.
Yeah, just congratulations. what a career, what a class act. When you see a guy like Eddie O come on and talk to you like that, you know, we always say hockey, best dressing room in sports. There's nothing better. Will never be anything better. And that's it.
Dude, what an honor. I can't thank you enough. Look at that picture. That's one last picture. That is only a face a mother can love. That is a true freaking warrior, man. Look at that crocodile Dindy. You should be doing dental commercials right now. Holy cow!
Looks like a stuntman in LA or something.
Yeah, that was I remember that picture there, asking if anybody knew a good dentist there around that time, but not the prettiest face there, but good story and good memories. It was. But yeah, no, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. It's been good chatting with you guys.
Congrats.
And, good to see you again, Nasher. Nice to meet you, Mike.
Congrats, my man. We're gonna get you out to Utah here at some point. Maybe you can be one of my co-hosts. Throw some smiles around. Now that you got the pearly whites back in, let's go. We'll get you and Kobasu out here, and we can see what the Ukraine train's all about.
But don't expect first class. You're in row 13 in the back.
Yeah, the budget's a little tight right now, Dunk.
Yeah.
So
that'd be great to get out to Salt Lake. Never been to Utah, so I've been. Now that they're in the league, there, it's got to be on the bucket list to get out there. Check it out. Love to.
Well, we love it, buddy. Thank you so much. Always an honor to talk to such a great hockey player like you, who had such an impact in the game. So thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Good to see you boys.
Well, there you have it, folks. Didn't disappoint. How big of a savage is that guy? I mean, he is unbelievable. Looks like a hockey player, acts like a hockey player, talks like a hockey player, and has he won like a hockey player? That guy has a trophy room that is like no other.
Those Winnipeg boys, those Prairie boys, they are something else. And I remember, growing up in the Midwest, if you were a casual hockey fan, you were a Chicago Blackhawks fan. And between him and Brent Seabrook, there were no two bigger pillars of defensemen that we looked up to in the Midwest than those two guys right there. So awesome to hear from him. He's got stories for days. He's a guy you could do like a part 2 with. He's had that kind of career, and excited to see what's next for him in his hockey life.
Yeah, it was crazy. He was a period late, I will say this. So, but we'll let him off the hook, and thank God we didn't have a guest in the third period. But like the guy's coaching his kid, right? Can you imagine being on the ice as a little kid? Like your coach is Duncan Keith. Like, yeah. You're probably going to learn a few things, right? If you open up the ears and close the mouth a little bit. That was always my problem, folks. But the guy is just he's a savage. Like, he really is. I thought he would be, because you watch his speech in the Hall of Fame, right? And it was unbelievable. But you think he's just a little more reserved and a little bit more just chill. But he wasn't. Like, he was all in. He loved it. He loved the stories. And that's ultimately what we all miss. When it's all said and done, whether you're a broadcaster or a player, you just miss the boys. You miss the stories. You miss sitting around hot stoving, talking about current events, talking about past games and history, all that stuff, right? And getting in arguments, and it's just what it's all about. And he loved it. He absolutely loved it. So it was cool to see. The NashCast is starting to pick up. It's been baby steps, buddy, but we're starting to bring it.
Starting to string together some Hall of Famers. I mean, Duncan Keith is as good as it gets. Norris's, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cups. And thank God Matt McConnell wasn't on the interview, because if he was, all the questions would have been about Duncan Keith's 2 years at Michigan State University. But you kept it professional, and that is why you are the best, my friend. So great interview with one of the best defensemen to ever do it, and someone who is an icon for a lot of hockey fans that I knew growing up.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better. And that's the best part of the job, right? Doing the research. I tried tracking him down. I made a joke. I was texting him. I'm like, oh my God, I got PTSD. It feels like I'm chasing you around the ice again. Like I did. I only played against him 1 year, I think, 1 or maybe 2. But that was enough. I mean, this kid, you could tell he was so talented. And every coach in the league, every coach that plays against him is like, Nasher, go hit that guy, get him. I'm like, do you think I'm freaking doing? I'm chasing the guy around like crazy. Like the guy skates all day long, his edge work. And he honestly was one of those guys, along with, I mean, there's been a bunch, right? Paul Coffey, Bobby Orr, Scott Niedermayer, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, but Duncan Keith, how they skate, how they defend, the edge work, right? Those are the kind of guys that really, gave us the Cale Makars and the Quinn Hugheses, right? Because of how they played. They hardly even skate backwards. That's the crazy thing. And I remember Joel Quenneville used to be like, Nasher, go hit Lidstrom. I'm like, are you joking me? Like they're four steps ahead of me. And that's not hard to do, as you know, Fultz. But yeah, good luck with that. But anyway, it was a blast. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And we got more to come, buddy. So again, as always, Fultz, I know you got a big game tonight in the Big Apple as we tape this, but NashCast Official on Instagram, on YouTube, and on X as well.